Hi everyone, my name is Michelle and I'm Mama Loves UGB here on FlossTube, but also over on Instagram as well. This is FlossTube number 31 and it is Sunday the 30th of May. Welcome to the morning briefing. How is everyone doing this week? I'm back at Mum's, only for a short time. We are actually heading tomorrow up just north of Newcastle so that I can take Ness to see her grandparents. So Chris's family are from Northumberland, and so she hasn't actually seen her grandparents for a year and a half. Very, very similar to lots of other little children, but yeah, she hasn't seen her grandparents for a year and a half, and she hasn't seen her auntie for 2 years. So she's going to be super, super excited. But because of where we live in Wales, there's no direct road out, and so if we drove straight from our house to their house, it would be 9 hours. Because you either have to wend your way all the way up north and then cut across, or you have to sort of go out through mid Wales and then cut across. And I think 9 hours in the car is too long for her, and 9 hours in the car with her is too long for me. So it's actually just as much time to drive to Mum's in the Cotswolds and then to go from Mum's tomorrow morning up to Northumberland from there. Luckily enough, they're not in one of the restricted areas. Well, it's not even a restricted area, so that's not quite right. There are some areas in the UK where the variant from India is particularly prevalent, and the government have said, you know, just be a bit careful. There haven't been any other actual guidelines, definite guidelines passed, but luckily they're not in one of those areas. So we're going up to see them for a few days. So yeah, I can't wait. Her face is just going to be a picture when she sees them. Before I go any further, I just want to give a quick shout out to a stitcher named Patty, whose birthday it was on the 22nd of this month, just gone. So happy birthday, belated happy birthday. And she lives in Virginia, and her daughter Sarah tells me that she is a phenomenal stitcher, and she has got hundreds of projects in her house that are all beautifully stitched. And she just finished a full coverage farm piece, and your daughter says, and I completely agree with her, and I'm pretty sure everybody in the comments will do it as well, Patty, we need an Instagram account. We need to see these things. They sound absolutely gorgeous, and we all love to spend our time poring over Instagram and finding things to inspire us. So please, if you wouldn't mind creating yourself an Instagram account, then we'll all definitely come and follow you and see what you've been up to. Yeah, I just want to apologise to anyone over the last week or week and a half or so who's contacted me and I've not replied back to you. The last 10 days has been absolutely manic with getting assessments marked and getting assessments graded, ready to go onto spreadsheets. I work in a small to mid-sized school, and I've probably marked, well actually not probably, I counted, I've marked over 1,100 individual assessments in the last 10 days or so, and I've moderated about a quarter of that as well on top of it. So it's been super, super busy. So I know that there are people who have messaged me and I keep meaning to get back to you, so I'm sorry if you're waiting on a reply. Please just message me again and ask the same question, or give me a prod, and I will get back to you, but I'm so sorry. Marjorie and Dave, the chicks are all there, and they are looking super, super big. When we put the screen on to see what's going on in the nest box now, you see much more of Marjorie and Dave. Before, if you were sat down to watch, you'd only sort of see one of them, but now the chicks are getting bigger. Very often you see both of them a few times in that same sort of time period. So yeah, I've got a couple of clips for you, so I'm going to put these clips in here because I know people are wondering about Marjorie and Dave and how they're getting on. And maybe by next week we might be able to see a few more feathers. But like I said, they're all 8 there, so they are doing well feeding them. So carrying on the animal theme, the mug this week are various breeds of cattle, mostly the kind of historic rare breeds, and some of you may not know, in fact most of you may not know because I've never said it before, that I used to work for Adam Henson, who is the son of Joe Henson, who set up the Rare Breed Survival Trust. Now, if you live in the UK, you might know Adam from Countryfile. And when I was doing my A-levels, my first year at uni, I think, I worked for him at the Cotswold Farm Park before he was on Countryfile, so he wasn't the celebrity that he is now. But a lot of our mugs and things like that have that sort of flavour to them of the rare breeds. Absolutely loved working there. Apart from this one turkey, there was a turkey, and it was the nastiest thing going. And it would look and see what you were wearing. So when you went into the pen, it would look and see what you were wearing. If you had trousers on, it would go for your ankles, and if you had shorts on, it would go for your knees. Hideous thing, hideous thing. Okay, I just want to show you one other thing that's not cross-stitch related. So, as I said, this is now half term. We've come to the end of all the assessments, and it's been the last days for my year 13s. And they're such a gorgeous group. They are so, so lovely. And they got me a gift, which I thought I would show you. And this is what they got me. They adopted me a panda. So how lovely is that? They adopted me a panda. Now, what you may not know is that I have been bemoaning pandas to them for the last 2 years, basically just telling them what an evolutionary dead end pandas are. And despite the human influence, they are actually a species that doesn't really want to reproduce very much, and they only eat one thing. So in terms of long-term adaptation and survival, they're not doing too well, really. So they adopted me a panda, and they gave me lots of thank you cards and always lovely messages and things like that. And of course, one of them had a panda on it as well. So and there was chocolate, and there was earrings, and there was a pen, and just lovely. They were really, really thoughtful. So that was nice at the end of what was a really, really long 2 years for them, because obviously they had the first lockdown when they were in year 12, and now they've had all of this when they're in year 13. So bless their hearts. I wish them all such a lot of love and luck. They're all stunning, so they'll be fine. Competition winners. So I picked the winners for the competition for the Pantini charts. So I have let all the winners know by commenting on their comment either on Instagram or YouTube, and I've heard back from quite a few people. But just to go through it all, so these are the two these are the two YouTube ones. So this one was the Cat Lovers one from Pantini. In fact, they're all Pantini ones. So thank you very much to Paola for sending me the charts and let me pass them on. So this one was won by Belushi Stitches, so congratulations. The other one that was on YouTube was that one with the flamingo. And there's the little flamingo button. And that one was won by Georgie McDougall. Dougal, sorry if that's not quite how you pronounce your last name, but if you can get in touch with me on that one, I've left you a message on your comment. And then the two Instagram ones, I tried doing a YouTube comment picker, but for Instagram. But then I found out that a lot of them, unless you pay the premium price for it, they only include like 100 comments. And no, I want everyone to be involved. So with the Instagram ones, I did a slightly different thing because I couldn't find an Instagram picker that allowed me to pick all of them. So if you know of one, just put the comment below. So what I did literally was I pulled up my Instagram and I went like that, and then I got Ness to do that. So where she stopped it was the two winners. So the home, which was that one, was won by Love TT Nikki. And the rose one was won by Crafting Kirsty. I think she's already commented on my name, so if I've got her Instagram name slightly wrong, then I think it's Crafting Kirsty, but I've put a little squiggle in the middle, so that could be anything. But anyway, so congratulations to those. If you didn't win, and I haven't got a free chart for everyone, I'm afraid, but if you pop over to Patchwork Rabbit have got lots and lots of Pantini charts, and you will be able to pick out whichever ones you want from there and enjoy stitching them. So don't forget, there is a link down below that takes you to Patchwork Rabbit. Right, we're on to the stitching part, and I have to say there's not much stitching. I'm sorry to report. I've been marking till gone midnight most nights, and so anything that I have stitched has been really quite minimal. But I do have a finish. I do have a finish. So it's this one. The Mill Hill Charmed Santa face. And I've FFO'd it, because they don't take very long to FFO. And this is it. Really super pleased. If I can get it to hang straight. Really super pleased with it. So you make the face and the hat in two different pieces, and then you glue the hat onto the top of the forehead, and then yeah, do yourself a little beaded hanger from the leftover beads. And then on the back, I have talked about this before from one of my other Mill Hill ornament finishes, but this is self-adhesive velvet or velour, velvet or velour, that kind of feel anyway. And I bought mine from eBay. No, I didn't, I bought it from Amazon, sorry. And what you need to search for, it's basically for jewellers' displays. So if jewellers want to cover a box, or anybody wants to do a window display, excuse me, itchy nose, you can buy this self-adhesive velvet, and you can get it in lots and lots of colours. And I think I bought a pack of 18 sheets of A4 in about 9 different colours for £10 or £11 just for finishing these off. And they do make a really neat finish. So yeah, so this is another ornament for my monthly orny sale. Technically this is my April, and then I need to do something else for May, and then something else for June to get myself back on the track. But I really like these for stitching at lunchtime, because you can just sort of bring a little box in with you. There's not too much faffing around that goes on. It's nice and simple, and putting in 1 or 2 strands every lunchtime really sees this build up pretty quickly. And I've just realised, actually, I left it at home. It's not quite finished. There is actually a snowflake charm to go on there, and I've forgotten to put it on. So I will have to put that on. Is it in there? No, I must have left it at home. I will put that on when I get back home. So a 99% FFO. I wouldn't have realised that if I hadn't looked at it. Right. The only other thing that I picked up whilst I was in the throes of getting everything else done this week was, sorry, I've got a whole pile of stuff here, but that's actually nicer than just disappearing off, and I've realised that I've got the cable dragging over it, so I hope it's not going to pull you about too much. So this one, which was one of my mania starts, and I literally got a little bit more in it. So started off with some of the branches of the tree and some of the leaves, and started on the first house at the bottom. So this is the called for fabric, which is 32 count Zweigart cobblestone, I believe. Did you hear that? That was my stomach. 32 count Zweigart cobblestone, and I am stitching it with the called for threads, because I'm going to try and move that cable without pulling you there. With all the called for threads, which are silks, either dinky dyes or needlepoint silks, and I bought the whole kit from Chris at the Nimble Thimble. So she does have a website now, which is linked down below, but if there's anything on there that you can't see, do give her a call, because I know she's just in the sort of early stages of getting things on the website. So yeah, if you can't see anything that you want, do phone her. So this is the one for February. So this is the chart that will come back out to be finished off in February. I think next week I'm going to do a review of my mania. I had planned 12 starts, and I think I've got to 9 or 10. I can't remember. I definitely haven't started Matter's Choice, and I definitely haven't started oh, the Christmassy one. I want to say Belcher. Somebody Belcher. I'll put a picture up of it. There's 2 that I definitely haven't started, and I haven't started the Marjorie Massey one with the red bird, or the red one with the bird on it. I haven't started that one. So I've got 9 out of the 12 started, and then what I'll do is I'll just start those in the months as I come to them, unless I fancy a new start, in which case I'll just start them then. But I don't think I'm going to be short of new starts. How many is too many? How many is too many? Because you see, I don't see any difference between having them in my stash, having them kitted, having them started. They don't give me any more kind of, like, I don't feel any more pressure if I've started them than I would if they were still sat in just as a chart or just in my sort of kind of kitted box. One day I'll show you my kitted box. It's, yeah, it's big. It would be a long programme, so let me know if you want to see what I've got that's kitted. It might have to be a double special edition. We shall see. The other thing that I've worked on this week, and this actually came, I bought a couple of things from eBay, and I'd never seen this one before. Sorry. Random threads. So because I'm at Mum's, I've obviously got her to do a bit of serging for me, and so I'd managed to sew a bit of thread in my serging. So this is the chart. It's called Little by Little Quaker Blackbird by Cynthia Bradford, and it's just a really cute little design, because this week I've just not been able to sit down to anything big, and so the other reason that I started this one is because I'm going up north. I'm probably not going to be sort of sitting and stitching of an evening, because we're going to be talking and eating and putting Nest to bed and all of that sort of stuff. So I wanted something that I could work on if I had the opportunity. It's 36 count, so it's going to depend on the lighting in the room that I'm staying in, although I do have some extra plans to sort of get around that. But I just fancied starting something little, so I started this one. And I did my absolute classic, which was sitting in my stitchy spot, looking around, thinking, I fancy a new start. What can I start? What can I work on? And this had arrived in the post that day. My threads are sort of hanging behind me. All my sort of random specialty threads are hanging behind me. This little bit of 36 count oaken was just kind of sitting on the side, because it was the bit that was left over from when I framed my unfinished sampler series, and it was sort of a case of 3 places to look: fabric, chart, threads. That'll do. And so I just started it. So I didn't even really look to see what the called for threads were. I just looked on the front of the chart, and I picked out some colours that I thought would go together, and some colours like this. Look at this, like 3-4 strands of Oscar there. You know, I'm not going to get very far with that, am I? But it's plenty for this, because there's not much on it, and when I'm only using 1 strand, it goes quite far. So I just bung all these little random things onto a ring that just sits behind me, so that it's not out of sight and out of mind. It's there, and I think, oh, I just need a little bit of green, I'll use that up, rather than starting a new skein of something. That's a perfect colour. So these are my colour choices for this design. As I said, it's similar to what's on the packet. I have got Swiss Chocolate by Weeks Dye Works, Deep Fennel by Classic Colourworks, which I think might have been in my advent calendar from this year. In fact, I think a lot of these were. Sweet Potato. I can't wait to do that again next year. I love that. Sweet Potato, Lancaster Red, Oscar, all 3 strands of, Aztec Red, I think it's Aztec Red, yeah, and Juniper, which again I think was in one of my advent calendar drawers. Have I shown you the stitch? Have I actually shown it to you yet? So that's where I am. I've done little strawberries in the middle, one of the Quaker motifs. So I've got the letters at the top to do and the ones at the bottom, and then those are the 2 motifs. And I'm not sure quite what I'm going to do, whether I'm going to turn it into sort of like a hanging ornament. Part of me thinks about turning it into like a needle book or something like that, but actually making it that kind of tag shape, so it would be like a tag shaped needle book. I haven't quite decided yet. See what happens, see what strikes me when the time comes to finish it. But yeah, it's going to be something like that. It's going to be something that's around a harder, like a cardboard core, something like that, because I do like the shape of it. Right, that is it. That's everything I've worked on for stitching. So as you can see, it's really not much to write home about this week. But then that's what some weeks are like, isn't it? That's what some weeks are like. I've got after half term, the teaching kind of calms down quite a bit because I've lost my year 11s, I've lost my year 13s, so I have more time in the school day to get stuff done. So come the evening time, I should definitely be able to get some more stitching done. Right, freebies. Now I have to thank a lovely lady called Claire, who is Bear Stitchery, and I'll put the name across the bottom on Instagram, who sent me a message, and I have to admit I did only reply back to her today. She only sent it to me a few days ago, I think. It could be a week, maybe, sorry. Just giving me a heads up about a couple of freebies that she'd found and that she wanted to share with everybody via me. So I was more than happy to share them with you. So I've printed some of them off because there's a few. The first one, I'm going to have to put a picture up of the whole design up there. And it's called Spring Sampler. And basically it's a red sampler, or it could be any colour you like. But when you read the article, the lady who's put this together is very fond of red samplers. I'm sure you probably would have seen on Instagram and drooled over and dribbled over her beautiful red sampler wall. So that's there. Now I would pronounce that Susan Ake, but I'm sorry I didn't find out definitively beforehand, so I really apologise if that's not how you say it. But I will put the link up for this, and then the other link that she gave me actually had about 5 different charts in it, and so I had picked out 2, but I've lost one. Moment please. No, I don't know what I've done with it. So this one's on there. This is the one that I can't find at the minute. Really nice Halloween Quaker design. The link for that is on the link that she gave me. So the link she gave me words. Can you tell I'm tired? I couldn't do anything about the bags under my eyes today. The link that she gave me has, I could say, 5 different charts on it, or the links for 5 different charts on it. So she gave me this one, which is the Quaker Halloween. And then there was this one as well, which is called Halloween Buddies by the Stitch People, or by Stitch People. Now I'm sure you've seen the books that Stitch People do, of all the various different bodies, heads, clothes, and you can kind of make up any people that you like. So they did a Halloween one, and there's 2 versions of it. It's got the same characters on it, but the Happy Halloween is in a different place. So there's that one, where you've got the characters above and the Happy Halloween below. And then that one, where you've got the characters on either side and the Happy Halloween in the middle. So I think that is really cool. I really like those. It does say it will fit in a 5x7 frame, but it doesn't say what count you'd need to do it on for that. Maybe it does in the article. So there's a little article that kind of go with each of those freebies. So you can, I'm sure it'll say in there, you can have a closer look if you want to. So thank you so much, Claire, for sending me those through. I really do appreciate it, and I'm sure everyone will rush over and print out those freebies. That red one's gorgeous though, isn't it? Right, plans. So I was thinking, what am I going to take with me that isn't too taxing, can be stitched on even if the light's not very good. So for example, when I've gone to bed of an evening, I can just do a couple of strands before I go to sleep. 36 count, 40 count's probably not going to be great. I can see it without magnification. This hand keeps waving. I don't know what to do with this hand. I'm going to hide it behind my back. And then this one starts. Yeah. Right. So 36 and 40 count, I can see without magnification, but the lighting does need to be pretty decent. So I thought, well, what am I going to do? And so I've been making ornaments for the monthly Orny sale since January. I'm one behind, and I've had these in my stash for quite some time to do because they are great. So I bought these from Etsy, and these are from Satsuma Street. So I think I'm right in saying that if you buy just the charts, they come as a pack of 4. I think you can buy the kits individually, but you can you buy the charts in packs of 4. And this is one of the packs of 4. And the last time I looked, I think there were 3 packs of 4, so 12 ornaments in total. But this is the one I've got to start with. So that's the first one, Little Batty. As you can see, I've written at the top here, need 310 and 3799. 3799 is my nemesis floss. I must have a billion skeins of that. Can I ever lay my hand on one? Can I ever lay my hand on one? Sometimes I get to the point where, I don't know if you've ever done it, you're looking for this skein of floss that you know you've got, and so you go onto one of the stitchy websites. Okay, I do it with Patchwork Rabbit, I go onto Patchwork Rabbit, I go onto Peakside Needleworks, and I type in the number of the floss, and then I look and see what patterns come up, because they always come up with the floss, and then they come up with the patterns that have got the floss listed. And I have a little look through there and see if I can jog my memory as to where I've actually put that particular floss, because I normally want to start something. So that's the first one, Little Batty. And then this one's called Eye of Newt. So you basically need for these black perforated paper, and then it's DMC, and then a few sequins and a few beads. Cat-O' Lantern. I love that one. I'm going to start that up. But not with the bit with 3799. Unless there's a decent range, not range, Hobbycraft somewhere up by where my outlaws live. And this one, Creepy Crawly. And the good thing about these 4 is that they pretty much have the same colours. They pretty much have the same DMC colours. So these are the DMC colours. So I mostly moved over to having all my DMC on floss keepers and rings now, but these are some of the ones that I had in my cabinet. I've got one of those lovely DMC wooden cabinets. So actually I managed to find all of the colours, or very close from there, except for 310 and 3799. I've got a cone of 310. Couldn't lay hands on it, could I? Oh, right, now these things are not going to play ball either, are they? Look at those colours. And then those ones as well. So that is going to look fantastic, I think. Now, I normally stitch the perforated paper with 2 strands, but I think because it's black, I will probably end up stitching it with 3 strands. And this is the black perforated paper, which is stuck. There we go. So that's the black. Ooh, gosh, that's weird. Ooh. Send you all weird there. Let's get rid of one. So that's the black perforated paper there. So it works out as 14 count. And yeah, as I said, I think I'm probably going to use 3 strands on the black. I would normally use 2, but I think I'm going to use 3. How is that? There it is. Look what I found. Still stuck inside my tacky bob for beading is the little tiny, there we go. So I shall attach that on there and that will be 100% finished. Right, I'm putting it in there with it. So yeah, I thought these would be ideal for working on if the light's not that good and I can just put a couple of strands in and it's working on some ornaments that I want to finish, and I really like the other 2 packs of 4, but I can't spend the money on them until I've stitched at least those 4. Right, talking of spending some money, I have a few bits of haul. Now I did do a little bit of a teaser this morning on Instagram when my parcel arrived from across the pond. I'm going to make you wait just for a little bit more on that. It's worth the wait. So the first things I got from eBay, I did have a little go on eBay this week. I got this, little by little, and I got this one, Poppy May Russell from the Heartstring Samplery. I got those from the same seller, and I really like these long horizontal stitches, these long horizontal samplers. So Florence May Piggin is horizontal that way, the HF sampler that I did from Darling and Whimsy Designs was that way, and I just really got a bit of a love for them. Quaker number 3 is long and thin that way, so yeah, I can't wait to do that one. And then from another seller, she had put up a Halloween package, which was basically 5 charts and some threads, and I grabbed these. So first of all in the chart was the Cricket Collection number 268. It's called Two Familiars. So there's the cat, which is the stand-up, and obviously the raven there, Nevermore, or Quote the Raven, the chart's called. And this is done obviously on black fabric. In the chart, it is charted as black stitching, but there is no black stitching on this one. It's just done with black fabric because somebody was sensible. There is no way I would stitch that black. I would use black or charcoal, exactly as they've done there. So I quite like that one. I'm not the biggest cat fan in the world, but cats and Halloween kind of go together, don't they? A drawn thread one. Sorry for the glare. Called I Love Halloween. So it's just like a little door hanger there. So I've got that one. And then also in the pack were these ones. So Widgets and Wool, Widgets and Wool Primitives, Black Hat Society. Now I have got another one of their designs from somewhere, but that's just kind of asking for a bit of a funky fabric, isn't it? Can't wait. This one is called Igor McScott. Igor McScott by the Sunflower Seed, which is just this really cool bat hanging upside down. Love it. Love it. And then this one, which is a pair of Wicked designs from Waxing Moon Designs, called Wicked Stitches. And the top one says, well behaved children welcome, the rest will be turned into toads, and wicked is as wicked does. So there were those 5 charts, and then they were also included in the bundle all of these threads. Now they are obviously sort of Halloween and Halloweeny colours, but they don't match any one of the charts particularly, I don't think. So there's Black Crow, which is actually a very bluey black. It's really, really nice. So if you like the Gentle Art Blackboard, Black Crow is quite similar. Baby Spinach, 2 skeins of. Evergreen. I'm sorry, but if I had an evergreen plant that colour, I'd think it was sick. That's not what I would call evergreen. Maple syrup. Summer meadow. Blueberry. Barn grey. Gold leaf. Onyx. Soot. Fragrant cloves. I love that one. Such a beautiful orange. Hyacinth. Look at that. That is really variegated. And then the last one is bittersweet. I just love threads. I just love threads. I could just look at threads and stare at threads all day long. And it's so nice to just get like a random bunch as well, because then I just put them on my ring, and then as and when they appear, I just pick them down and substitute them in. Now this chart will come as no surprise to anyone. I was raving about this week after I'd seen a lovely finish by Loose Dot Wool, and I linked her last programme. That is gorgeous, beauty spot, and there is a sister chart to it as well, and it's quite big. It's 300 and oh, it's on the front, 315 by 312. So I have got some 38 count that I'm going to dye, and I am very, very tempted to dye 2 pieces, one for this one and one for the sister chart as well. So they're just so gorgeous. And actually, you see all these little dots? Those are actually little sequins that you can put on as well. Now Lucille had done hers on, in the photograph it looked almost like a kind of a parchment, a yellowy kind of parchment colour, and it looked absolutely fabulous. So I think I might just copy. I might just go for something that colour, try and dye myself something that colour. It's charted in the Gentle Art thread, but there is a DMC conversion as well. And I'm going to have a look through and see how much of the thread I've got, but that is a fair hefty thread list there. That shows you the conversion to DMC of each of the colours, but that's a fair hefty thread list. But I actually think, as I was looking through, lots of those appear in there. So I will be having a look through to see how much I've already got. And then I went to Peakside Needleworks because I needed, you heard me right, I needed dungarees. And dungarees has been out of stock in lots of places, and they had it in stock in the 10-yard skein. So the 5-yard skein is about £1.80. The 10-yard skein is £2.80. So if I ever get the opportunity to buy the 10-yard skeins, I always do. So that cannot travel alone. It's not safe. It's not safe for this one to travel alone. So I had a little look to see what other colours they had got in the 10-yard skein, and they had quite a lot. But I did turn it in just a little bit. I was like, add to basket, add to basket, add to basket. Saw the total, I was like, no, I can live without that one. So these are the ones that I settled on. This one is Weathered Barn, because I had a skein of Weathered Barn and I seem to use it in so many projects, whether it was needed or not, quite frankly. So I got another one of those. I got a pomegranate, again, because I used pomegranate quite a lot. I did Harriet Elizabeth Coe. Is that right? Harriet Elizabeth Coe, yeah. And that uses pomegranate. And I had some left over and I seem to use it again in quite a lot of places. So it's a beautiful red. And I might have a project for that lined up already. And then Brethren Blue, which is green. I've looked at this in lots of lights and I failed to see much blue in it at all. But it is Brethren Blue. Now I've heard other people talk about Brethren Blue, and I think this is one of the ones where the dye lot has changed quite a lot. It's also in Sally Spencer that I'm doing, and I switched it out for something that looked closer to what was on the front, and I actually went for a grey. So I'll have a look. I might go back and just check and see whether that's a better colour, but I think I'm going to stick with my grey. And then, because Made by Michelle McGraw had some fibre on a whim fabrics, I wanted some fibre on a whim. Can't talk. Because she had some, I wanted some fibre on a whim. Now, what did I buy? So they came all wrapped up nicely in these packets. And this is again from Peakside. Because I'm at Mum's, I've already got her to serge them for me. So I went for Cream and Sugar, which is one of the ones that I think Michelle had. And it is just such a lovely neutral. Now, Cream and Sugar is such a good name for it as well. And in the past, when I've dyed fabrics, I've always been going for sort of like the brighter, darker colours. And this time, when I get the dye pot out, I am going to be trying for some other neutrals. So I'm hoping next weekend to have a bit of a go with Rit dyeing some neutrals. So I got that one. And then I also got this one, which is called Affogato. And again, this is a lovely neutral too. So if I put those two together, you can see this one does have a bit more, almost of a yellowy green to it. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful neutrals. And I got 36 count in both of those. And then, last but not least, my packet from Country Sampler. Now, first thing I'll say is I did not pay any duty on this. I didn't have anything to pay as it came through. I don't know if that was because of the amount, whether it was underneath the duty amount, or whether obviously because it's just charts, they don't go for any VAT or anything like that, I believe. So this is what I got. Now there were 2 needlework press charts, and I have to say needlework press is fast becoming one of my favourite, if not my favourite already, design houses. They are put these words together in a sentence. They are releasing a companion to be to go with In All Things Be Exceedingly Diligent, which is already kind of top of my list to do. But this one I've spoken about before. Now this is really, really hard to find. I've never ever seen it in the UK. I've tried to get it before. I've tried to get people to order it for me in the UK, and because it's not with the distributor, they can't get it. And the girls at Needlework Press had even said we'll get it into the hands of the distributor if you want, and I just couldn't get it to work. So this chart I've always wanted, and then another chart that I'd always wanted. So I'd said to myself, if I ever saw those 2 charts in the same shop in America, I would do it, and I would pay the postage for it. So this is a Mexican band sampler. So I will take it out of the fabric. Out of the bag. I'll tell you what, if you understand a word of this gibberish this week, congratulations. So there is a Mexican band sampler. Absolutely love it. And look at the shape of it again. I'll go through a phase and they'll all have to be like that then, and then we'll all have all sorts of higgledy-piggledy going on. It is charted in a mixture of Glorianas, Classic Colourworks, Valdanis, Dinky Dyes, yeah, all sorts of different colours. But it does have some DMC approximations to it. So I will probably pull the DMC, or at least look up the DMC in my thread chart, and pick out some threads which are similar colours, Maude which are similar colours. And then this is the other one that I really, really wanted, which is the 1896 Alpha Block Sampler, which is courtesy of Susie Reno. She stitched this with a group of her friends, and ever since I have been hankering after it. So when I saw that Country Sampler had Mexican band sampler and this together, that was like, yeah, tick, that was my criteria. So I can't wait to stitch this one. And again, it's charted in Gentle Arts with DMC approximations on that one. Now, because one does just not order 2 charts to come all the way from America, I stayed on Needlework Press. Both of these I have seen in the UK. So this is Harriet Ann Hewson, and she's a Scottish girl. I love that 4-sided stitch along the bottom. 1843. Speak not evil one of another. Art has taught my willing fingers skill to write without paper, ink or quill. So I like that one. That's not massive actually. 178 by 200. So there's that one. And then this one again is another one that is on the horizontal, and it is called Jane E. Horton, or Little Jane E. Horton. And I love that one. If you read through the blurb, it talks about the fact that she actually didn't finish the word years there on the original. So it's charted with it finished, but obviously on the original you can see that she never finished it. So you could leave it off if you wanted to. And then my last one, this one is thanks to Laura from Brenda and Laura. And I have bought my Rachel Howells to stitch on tomorrow, my Sunday sampler for the Love of Brenda Sal. Sorry, I should have taken these out of the bags beforehand. But this is thanks to Laura, because she showed this one and I have been hankering after this ever since, but couldn't get it in the UK. And so I'd ordered all of those and paid for them. And then I suddenly remembered this sampler. And I was like, oh, I wonder if they've got it. And they had, and I emailed the girls and they were like, yeah, no problem, we'll add it to your order. So, Alice Beaton. I just love the way that sampler is laid out. It's absolutely gorgeous. Just so texturally beautiful. Talking of that, have you seen the new Needlework Press one that's laid out similar to this, but it's a Quaker alphabet, or Quaker alphabets, but it's similar to this where it's sort of justified down the centre. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to have to live to be 407. I'm going to have to be 407, otherwise I am, and that's only provided if I stop buying now and started stitching everything I've got. But my other option, I've been thinking about this, is I'm going to buy loads of A4 frames, and I'm just going to frame these. It's about the only way that some of them are actually going to end up on the wall. But they're so beautiful. They're just so beautiful. But I'm sure you know that anyway. Right, that's enough of me waffling. I didn't really think I'd have quite a long one today, but seems to be the case. So anyway, I will see you next week, and stay classy, stitchers.